The saga continues. Students will challenge themselves and their peers to get fit and eat healthy. BF&M proudly presents, in association with Bermuda Air Conditioning and Tokyo Millennium, the all-new Fitness Challenge 30-minute segment. So extreme you can get fit just watching. Sponsored in part by Digicel, Pride, Bermuda Heart Foundation, Hunt's Food and Supplies, and Fusion Fitness Center.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Phillips. We would like to welcome you all to the Interschool Fitness Challenge Panel Night. Alongside me, I have Sionna Barton. Sienna's from the Core Fitness Health Center. Sionna?
Hi, Andrew. We're here at the Core Heart Health Center in Hamilton. I'm actually the Jump to Be Fit director here, and I'll be working with these guys for the next 6 weeks. So it should be a good time. Yeah,
we're going to have fun. Listen, before we get started, we'd like to say thank you to all of the parents, teachers, PE teachers, trainers, our sponsors, and of course the youth for participating in the Interschool Fitness Challenge. Give yourselves a round of applause.
The Interschool Fitness Challenge will be back after these messages.
What's for dinner?
Coverage, service, security. BF&M Insurance matters to everyone.
Well, we started in primary school.
Nipping our parents' beer and wine at home.
They didn't know. I started in high school. My friends would buy liquor and share it with me. They didn't know.
My cousin and I drank whenever I stayed at their house.
They didn't know.
They didn't know I would end up an alcoholic.
Children who use drugs before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to have problems later on in life.
You are watching an Interschool Fitness Challenge. Let's have it!
In tonight's panel, we're going to cover why are the students in the challenge, what do they hope to get out of it, and do they think their school will win? Okay, Sionna.
Okay, so I want to ask the guys so far how they've enjoyed it, how the morning workout's been, and I'm going to go to Jolly Good Ollie.
What was your favorite exercise, Ollie?
So far, one of the coaches took us on around the semicircle in the middle and pushed us really hard, making us do multiple different exercises from your abs down to your legs. And afterwards, my legs felt like jelly, and I didn't want to stand up.
Why are you in the challenge?
Personally, I'm in the challenge to build more muscle mass and to increase self-esteem in myself and other young people that feel underweight.
Lindsay was our winner last year. Congratulations, golf clap. So I want to know, since
so I expect for myself, I want the same result. I want to push myself to the point where I just want, because I'm a very competitive person, so I guess I just want the best for myself.
Okay, let's hear from some of our other contestants this year.
who are new? Who's new? My lovely skip roping buddy. Okay. What do you hope to get out of this?
Well, I want to get fitter for football season.
Do you know what's a good exercise for football season?
Not jump rope.
Oh, jump rope!
And I want to build a little bit more muscle because it'll help me in football.
Okay, that's a good thing. You know, jump rope will help you with your coordination, right? Everybody stop! My boy said he can't. Everybody down in 10 push-ups for the word can't.
I expect to get out of this, definitely a more healthier body, becoming more fit as a person, definitely.
I expect to gain new friends and also challenge myself.
I hope to get out of the challenge
maybe a stronger physique, because I'm training with Bermuda Gymnastics Association
I love gymnasts.
to participate in Island Games come June. And as a gymnast, you need a lot of physically demanding things.
I'm in this high school challenge because I take a course called IB, therefore we need CAS hours. I hope to gain CAS hours.
What school are you representing?
Work Academy.
Boop, boop. Sorry.
Okay, so Jasmine, do you feel that the fitness or a healthy lifestyle that's trying to be taught in the challenge will benefit you in any way?
I think it'll benefit everyone. Anybody can take the opportunity to gain more fitness. However, I think it'll benefit some people more than others. Some people have a higher level of fitness than others, maybe through the sports that they play. So they'll have less opportunity to gain more fitness on top of where they already have, whereas people who are already less fit will be able to gain by percentage more fitness than where they were before.
That's a great answer.
Okay. Wouldn't you say, though, that the people that are already getting fit or on football teams should be using it as an enhancer?
Yes, it can be an enhancer, but not as much so as for people who are already less fit than those individuals who are more fit.
You know what, Sionna and Jasmine, this brings us to our topic of the night, stereotyping. Because I think what Jasmine is saying is that people that are overweight will benefit more from the challenge than people that are skinny or fit. And I beg to differ because we heard from Ali while he's in the challenge.
I only beg to differ with one thing that you said, because there are people who are genetically skinny. God, I wish I was one of those people, but I am not. But I wouldn't say skinny is one of those things. People who are fit versus people who are less fit or less healthy. So I completely agree with you. And those are definitely some of the stereotypes that we have going on in Bermuda.
Okay. Now, we're on the point of stereotyping. Can we say that somebody who is overweight is unfit and somebody who is anorexic is fit?
No. And
so then that removes the stereotype that only if you're overweight you're unfit, because you can be too skinny and be unfit as well, correct?
Exactly, and it's sort of the judging a book by its cover. What's your name?
Hannah.
Hannah. My girl did great at the beep test. She outdid many people who are a bit thinner than her, but she just kept going, and I was sitting there on the sidelines giving everybody their stickers, and I heard girls, nothing negative, but they were like, she's still going? And they were like dead, and Hannah just kept going back and forth. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I want to hear, Hannah! Give it up! Yeah!
So
we all saw that. Too.
Yeah, she was amazing. So
wow.
Hannah can probably start off our conversation on different stereotypes.
Okay, well, like you said, I definitely agree that someone could be definitely not like stick thin, which a lot of people think is typically beautiful, or you know the Hollywood and everything, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're fit or that they have a healthy lifestyle, because I know people who are really, really thin and they can eat so much junk and just do no exercise. But they stay the same.
I know I eat so much bad food.
And it's really unfair to those who actually are healthy and put in a lot of effort to be healthy, like exercising, and they try a lot of things like dieting, and not a lot of it works. But for me, I think, for me personally, I've been making the effort this year, since it's my final year before I go off to college, to get up early in the morning and exercise. And I'm really switching like what I eat. Like I've cut out a lot of the junk food that I eat. I mean, I've been getting noticed, like people have been saying, oh, you're losing weight, but I don't see it. But if other people are noticing it, then that's motivating me to keep going.
Do you feel better?
I do feel a lot better about myself. I'm less tired and I'm more energetic, and I just feel happier.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on body image?
Well, my famous one that I hear around school is just because you're big, just because you're big, you can't fight and stuff like that. Even though that has nothing to do with fitness, but I do believe that just because you're big, that doesn't mean you're fit. Because I see a lot of heavy set guys that are real heavy set, that like over 400 pounds and whatnot, but they can run about 2, 3, 4 miles more than the skinny guy that's done all this exercise, but yet he can only run a mile and a half.
You started with a lot of people think that because you're big, they don't think you can fight. Is it important for a male for you, do you think it's important for men to appear large enough in stature that they can defend themselves? Do you think that's an important part of a body image for a male?
I do, but that actually comes in later on down the road, where when you get married and stuff like that, and you need to look like you need to be able to defend yourself.
What, you don't want to defend your girlfriend now?
Oh yeah, I do, but
I think his point is he'll rather be a big guy at the door if a burglar comes than a little tiny guy looking out through the window sill. All right, well, that was a great stereotype. If you're small, you have to be a ninja. Okay. The next question. How do you see your school competing in the challenge? Do you feel your school will win?
Okay, so I'm from the Barclay Institute, and I do believe my school will do well this year. We have a bit more people than we have last year, and I feel they're really strong and confident enough to win this year.
Time! Everybody put your ropes down!
You're in for a lot more fun when we return.
So don't go anywhere.
Interschool Fitness Challenge will be back after these messages.
Everybody skip, 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 skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord. Everybody skip, 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 skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord. Everybody skip, 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 skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord. Everybody skip.
Your homework doesn't have to keep you home. With Digicel's 5 GB student mobile internet plan for only $35 per month, you can get online anywhere. See digicelbermuda.com for details. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Well, we started in primary school.
Nipping our parents bare and lying at home.
They didn't know. I started in high school. My friends would buy liquor and share it with me. They didn't know.
My cousin and I drank whenever I stayed at their house. They didn't know.
They didn't know I would end up an alcoholic.
Children who use drugs before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to have problems later on in life.
You're watching the Interschool Fitness Challenge. Let's have it.
Hi, we're back. We're going to get into a little bit more about stereotyping and specifically how it affects students in schools. I think we left off with Ari. Ari, tell us whether you feel your school is going to win the challenge.
Okay, so I come from the Barclay Institute, and this year we have a bit more students, and I'm very confident that my school might win this year because they're very dedicated and strong-willed. They've come to most of the workouts that we've had so far, so I'm very confident in my school this year.
Are you guys motivating each other?
Yes, when we see each other in the hallways, we usually say, see you at the workout this afternoon, or you better be there tomorrow morning. So,
are you guys monitoring each other's nutrition? Have you ever seen anybody with a Snickers bar? Have you knocked it out of their hand?
I haven't really been monitoring what they eat, but I hope they're not eating any bad food.
Okay.
Okay. Can you tell us, how do you see stereotyping? First of all, what is stereotyping as you see it? Let's go with Teray.
I believe a stereotype is when a generalization is made around a group of people or a race. So, for example, a stereotype would be, let's say, all black people can dance, or all Asians are smart. something along those lines.
Okay, so why don't we make a chart on popular stereotypes? So the first one being all black people can dance.
Number one.
Number one. Anybody can throw out any other different types of stereotypes.
Like they all have rhythm.
You know we can't. We're not good at English.
Speak for yourself.
That will be another stereotype. Yes, we're getting along here. Okay.
Jordan?
Another stereotype would be just because you go to private school, you're rich.
That is a great one. And that's a great one for the challenge.
For me personally, I don't really care what they look like as long as they're nice and I agree and like I get along with them. I really don't care that much about looks. I feel that looks are an additive to the female perception, and the media is just trying to make girls feel bad about themselves, trying to live up to something that they can never live up to.
Making a false image, so yeah, these young kids are thinking, oh yeah, I could look like that, when you kind of really can't, because they have all this like shade on them to make their abs and chest stand out and sometimes other things, but yeah, I don't really agree with all that nonsense.
Some people want that body, and some people are just accepting the fact that they are who they are. But it's a lot of people that are accepting the way they are, but a lot of other people that are judging them because of it.
How many of you think that if you go to private school, your family is well off, or if you go to public school, that your family is not as well off as your friends who are in private school? We do know that, you know, Teray had a great point. If your parents send you to private school, then they will be broke. But what do you guys think about that? Private school versus public school. What are the thoughts on the economic standing of your parents if you're in one or the other?
Well, since private school you have to pay an annual tuition and public school it's more government funded, they like think that since you have the money that there's a better education, when not really that's the truth. Like, kids are still getting like ample like opportunity to better themselves in the world, get at a good career, and the like paying or not paying doesn't really have an effect on that, in my opinion.
Okay.
Let's
see if we can go over that. Bryce is saying that whether you pay or don't pay to school, that's not really a factor as to whether you would have a good education or do well. Is that correct? That's what you're saying?
Like they all have the same opportunity to live a good life.
I agree. Let's see Lamar, because you're from Berkeley.
Well, being I'm from a public school, always been in public school, I don't really see that there isn't a economic side to it. But I have seen in recent times that private school students do seem kind of wealthy compared to public students.
Speaking from somebody from a private school, would you say that you think most of your friends are well off? Jade?
Well, being in a private school since I was 5, I would say that it does sort of seem that way. Like when you're in the school and you're walking around, or you see the parents picking up the students after school, you do see a sort of like general increase in like the way that they live their lives, value-wise, I would say, because it's just like the way that they sort of act more, I don't know what the word is, like more proper, I would say, because if you compare it to the public school system, I would say that it is like a slight difference, but I wouldn't say that it actually is like in the value, like the money. I would say that it's more in like the way that you act around the school.
Nathaniel, what are your thoughts coming from Cedar Ridge?
My thoughts are, it doesn't really make a difference. It all depends on the student and how they want to carry on in school. Just as Jade said, doesn't really have an effect if you pay or you don't pay. But I do believe sometimes in the private school you do have a bit more, of a wide variety of resources for your work. And in the government school, sometimes if you mess up a book, you have to wait for like another year in order to get that book back. So, but it still depends on the students and where they want to go in life.
That's actually a great comment, because it makes a good point versus private school versus public school, and the economic standing is a very important point. But then you also come down to the students that go to the school. I know full well, going through the Bermuda, high school experience, that everybody has different stereotypes for all the different types of schools. Private is one thing, public is one thing, but then you get into MSA versus Work Academy, BI versus Saltus, Berkeley versus Cedar Bridge. Do you guys know of any stereotypes? Like, for your school, what do you think people say about you because you go to BHS, or say about you because you go to Work Academy? What do you think is out there about the students? You're sort of clumped as one student body. So what do you think is said out there, and what do you think the stereotypes are?
I think for my school, people say my school is just a bunch of ghetto kids going to school because there's a lot of fights that happen there, a lot of outbreaks that happen. And for Berkeley, I've heard that it's like a jail. You have to go through metal detectors and stuff like that at Berkeley. So,
So I have a question. I just have a question. So is the stereotype that if you go to the private school, you get a better education, and if you go to the public school, you get a worse education? Is that the stereotype?
No, not exactly, because even if you do go to a private public school, you do...
Because that's the point that Bryce was making.
You do still need to pay for certain things, like you still need to pay for your prom gown and hat,
I love
sometimes
that you
your
went
books.
to prom first.
Sometimes your books and other things that go on throughout the year. But I do believe the private schools are more funded than the public schools.
Okay. Morgan, what are your thoughts on how maybe Work Academy is perceived in the community?
Well, I haven't really heard any stereotypes exactly just for Work Academy. I really only see us as like the private school stereotype as, oh, you go to private school, or you must be rich, which I really don't agree with. It's the same as if you go to public school, you're not as well off. It's like, I don't agree with that stereotype in any way. So I don't really see Work Academy as one certain stereotype, though.
Okay. Marcus, what are your thoughts on Saltus?
When it comes down to Saltus, a lot of people think that children from Saltus are stuck up, and that, they should speak proper. And then you have people who have come out of the public school system into the private school system. And that was a big transition for myself, because I went Prospect Primary, and then I transitioned to Saltus. And, unfortunately, I disagree with most of the things that have been said.
Go ahead.
When it comes down to it, the reason why I had so much opportunity in my public school was because my dad was taught by one of the teachers who worked there. So she was like my guardian, and most of my opportunities came through her. But everyone else in my class, there were people who had the chance, but they didn't have as much opportunity as I did.
Okay.
And then when I moved to Saltus, there was a lot more opportunity. There was a lot more activities, a lot more sports that we were open to. And although it is a different fee, I'm not paying for my schooling, because there are a lot of scholarship programs, and that actually helps you with funding. So when it comes down to it, Nathaniel spoke on prom, and although it may seem that we don't pay for our own prom, we have to raise the money just like a public school would have to. So it's a lot of the things are similar, and there are a lot of things that are different.
The Interschool Fitness Challenge will be back after these messages.
Here's some helpful hints from the folks at Hunt's as you look to stretch your shopping dollars.
You're having a party, we can help you cater for a lot less than you might think. We've got party appetizers, macaroni and cheese, paper plates, and cups at really good prices. For around $5, you can make yourself a great meal using quality products from Hunt's Food and Supplies.
Everybody skip, 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 skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord. Everybody skip, 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 skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord. Everybody skip, 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 skip to my Lord, skip to my Lord.
watching the Interschool Fitness Challenge.
Welcome back. We've spoken about the damaging effects of stereotypes. Now let's talk about some of the positive things that can be done to eliminate them. Our company has been working with a prototype that brings children together from diverse backgrounds and has them work together toward a common objective. Let's see how this is going so far. Sionna?
So we have a bunch of different schools working together, and we want to know what the kids think about working with students from other schools. Alicia, what do you think about working in groups from people in public schools?
I would say working in groups with people from public schools is a great opportunity because then you have the chance to mix ideas with people that have different ethnic groups and different family backgrounds to make an even better product than what you begin with.
Okay, great. So we've heard from the private school sector. What about you, Lamar?
Personally, I feel that it's a good idea because it actually pushes you outside of your comfort zone to work around people that you don't know.
Okay.
And it actually motivates you a little bit.
By working together with people from the private school sector, what stereotypes do you think have been broken so far in your mind?
Well, by working with people in the public school system, and also most of my friends are in the public school system, stereotypes have been broken, such as, you know, the whole ghetto or uneducated thing. It's not true. I've met people that go to public school that are way better off than I am and have their own reasons for being in the public school system, probably because they feel the education is the same, so you might as well save the money. I'd also like to point out that stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. Everybody within that group may not fit into the stereotype, but we created them, and we wouldn't have created them if they did not fit the majority of that group.
That's a great point.
I think the benefits of working together with other schools is that we're able to expand our peer groups as well outside of school, so that we have friends from all different schools around the island, and also it allows us to like interact with other kinds of people as well, because it seems like certain people would like people vary more with different schools than just in a certain school.
Okay.
Excellent. If we can make a point there, that's been one of our objectives with these programs, to get the students from other schools to all interact with each other. And it has worked since you've do this. You have children from different schools studying together, you know, playing together, actually flying away on our conferences together. So we do see that as a unifying benefit for the country. Go ahead.
Hannah, what do you think you'll take away from all of this?
Well, personally, I think not only will I hopefully increase my fitness, but I'll become closer with the people that I know, and I'll get to know the people that I don't know so well. As a group R, I think it's good because everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, and we're able to bring all those strengths and make it into a better, what's the word?
Make it better.
Yeah.
I think this program works extremely well because you get a chance to meet people that you wouldn't get a chance to normally meet. I mean, I met Ari last year at the challenge, and we're still pretty good friends. We have, there's 70-something kids in the challenge from all different schools that have an opportunity to work together and get to know each other. It's just an amazing experience, and I would recommend it to anybody in a heartbeat.
Great.
Thank you. Well, that's all for tonight's panel night. From all of us in the Interschool Fitness Challenge, we'll see you next time.
From the Core Heart Health Center, we hope to see you soon.
coverage, service, security. BF&M Insurance matters to everyone.
Your homework doesn't have to keep you home. With Digicell's 5 GB student mobile internet plan for only $35 per month, you can get online anywhere. See digicellbermuda.com for details. Be extraordinary. Digicell.
Here's some helpful hints from the folks at Hunt's as you look to stretch your shopping dollars.
You're having a party, we can help you cater for a lot less than you might think. We've got party appetizers, macaroni and cheese, paper plates, and cups at really good prices. For around $5, you can make yourself a great meal using quality products from Hunt's Food and Supplies.